Do you want to know how to start making some honest legal money and how to start manifesting the different ideas that you have inside and different things you want out of life? How to get things together and feel good about what you do? Then I see the steel trade as being a treasure chest for different ways that you can make money and different ways that you can earn a good life, earn a good living. There are 8 different treasures, at least in the chest. 8 different steps that you can use and go by. 8 different ways that you can get from a good job to owning your own business. And there's 8 different ways that you can create the money that it takes to do it. One thing can finance the next. If you want to know these different things, then watch my video. And each one of these 8 different ways, we have an apprenticeship or a mentoring program that have been tried and tested. I've worked it, other people have worked it. And it'll get you to any step that you want to get to. Hopefully, it'll be to step number 8. And follow this video and subscribe to the mentoring program and the other information that we have, and you'll see a difference. To begin with, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in the South in a small town, good town. I finished school 1978. During my high school, we had a program called Vocational Agriculture, to which we end up learning certain things about how to build certain things, how to draw certain things. We went into that program when they integrated the schools. After they integrated the schools, we ended up in VOAG, and we had a white teacher, and he saw that us blacks, we wasn't on the level that the children that had been attending the white school were on. So he told us we couldn't go in the shop. That we had to stay in the classroom. We had to learn the paperwork. We had to learn the math. Back then, it kind of offended me, but I learned to appreciate that later on in life, because that was some seeds. That was at the foundation to me and being able to master the steel trade. I'm mentioning this because a lot of you all don't have those classes. Y'all didn't have them classes available, or you skipped them, or you didn't want to take them. But the trade, the steel trade, is one of the main things. It's a treasure chest. It holds different treasures that you can use. It give different tools that you can use to manifest different things into your life, to manifest money for your family, or earn an honest living, or a business. You can become a millionaire. But I left, and I went to Detroit, and I landed there, and I was working at a gas station, and it was getting cold. I had a newborn baby, and I was about to have to leave and come home. And the old men, they were good to me there. And lady used to come by, and a guy used to come and get gas. I was pumping gas, and I told the old man at work, I said, I'm gonna have to go home. I'm gonna have to go back to Alabama. And he said, you know that lady that you be talking to? He said, she a big wheel at that steel place down the street. He said, she got a liking to you. I said, you think she can give me a job? He said, she might want to give you something else. I said, I'm gonna ask about a job. He said, she can get you that. And he said, that guy is too. So I told her, I asked the lady about a job, and She told me they was hiring welders. And so the lady, she put her name on a piece of paper and found out she was vice president of the engineering company. And later on that day, the guy, he stopped by for gas, and I asked him about a job, and he told me that they were hiring welders at the Melvindale plant, and he put his name on a piece of paper and told me to take it and give it to Willie at Melvindale, and found out he was the chief engineer. And I went there, and I found out the guy told me they wasn't hiring welders, that they was hiring welders, but I couldn't weld. So he put his name on a piece of paper and told me to go back to the Melvindale, back to the River Rouge plant, which was the main plant, and told them to hire me for a helper. And I went in as a helper, and I worked as a helper, and I was making good money. It was a union plant. And I started moving up as far as making more money per hour, because they were posting jobs, and I moved up. I worked the hours. I would go in and work whenever they want me to come to work. It was right up the street from my house. I could walk to work. And I noticed those guys walking around with the piece of paper, big piece of paper in their hands, and they was all the time reading things off of this paper and putting marks on stuff and all. And I asked the guy what that was, and he told me, he said, those guys are layout men. They're fitters. He said, they make more money. They make more money than the welders. Some other guys at welding farm, they welders, they make good money. He said, but them guys as fitters, they make more money than them. And he said, those guys over there on them tables that's just laying that stuff out, he said, they layout men. So they make more money than the fitters. So I said, oh. I said, I wanna get me one of these jobs. I wanna learn how to do that. So I started trying to learn, and the guy, they taught me how to fit. I would work during lunchtime and ask the guys how to do this and how to do that, and they'll walk me through it. And when we get caught up back there in the paint booth, I go up there and I work, and they got ready to post a fitter's job, and I applied for it, but some of the other guys had more seniority than me, they applied for it, so they got that job. So one day the owner, I used to always ride around on a Sunday, and the guy that owned the place, he would be in his office on Sunday, and the plant was in my neighborhood, so I saw his car there, and I stopped through there one Sunday, and I walked up in the office, and he had his back turned to me, and but he turned around and seen me, and woo, he turned red. And I told him while I was there, and that I wanted to be a fitter and all, and he told me, he said, well, I'm finna be making some changes, and I'm hiring a new guy. He said, I'm gonna tell him to put you with one of his good guys and teach you how to fit, make you a fitter. And that's what he did. He moved the guy around that was opposing me, and he put another guy in there, and the guy told his supervisor to put me with the best man he had, and teach me how to fit. And they posted a Class A layout man's job. I wanted that job. I applied for it. They didn't give it to me. They hired a guy. Ooh, I was mad. But they put me working with the guys as helping him teaching me. And I saw then why they hired him and didn't give me the job. I learned a lot of things from him. I mean, I was messing up left and right, doing $2,000-$3,000 mistakes a night. But the guy who signed the checks told him to put me there. And it was his steal. Well, I learned and I moved up. And I went to work in the sheet metal trade. And I worked there as a fitter. I used to clean up the steel, clean up the buildings behind the guys after they got through messing it up. But I later became a boss. I later became a supervisor. And the same guys I used to clean up behind, they end up working for me. I left there, gave that up, and became an apprentice because I wanted the journeyman's card. And I went through the apprenticeship program. I worked as a journeyman. I went to work for a little Chinese engineer, and he taught me how to draw the blueprints and how to do the estimating. I made good money there. I learned how to do it on my own. I made good money doing it on my own. And I saw that how I could draw blueprints for people. I wanted to have a fab shop. And I used the money I was getting for drawing blueprints, and I used it to get me a bankroll to buy me material and make me a payroll, and I rolled it over and let one job finance the next, and I had a steel business going. And I dealt in steel, done it by myself. I ran the shops. I made some money. It's a good trade. And the same apprenticeship program that I'm talking about that I went through, I've got one designed, a mentoring program to walk you all through wherever you want to go. It depends on where you want to go. It can be from the helper to the welder to the blueprint interpreter to the fitter or the fabricator to the erector to the estimator to the detailer, steel detailing engineer, to the owner. All of those are different steps and different ways that you can choose to earn more than a good living. And the program that me and my associates can walk you through, it can get you there. It depends on where you at now and where you want to go. You can be without money, or if you got money and you got a buddy that knows the trade, we can get you there. Promise you. We can show you how to get yourself there. Yeah. So just subscribe to the link or email me, and we'll get it going from there.